Town Council meets tonight. To find out what's on the agenda, we will chat with Town Council President Jessica Grassetti on this episode of Barnstable Today. It's Thursday, December 15th, 2016. I'm Sarah Mannel. Bit of a light agenda tonight. Can we start with old business?
Yes. Let me just preempt you. The last meeting of the year is traditionally lightened up a little bit with a little music, so I've invited Marcia Witterall and the Barnstable High School Chamber Choir to give us a little holiday cheer and musically, so we're looking forward to that. But
always such a beautiful performance.
They are, it lightens the night a bit. So our last meeting is traditionally fairly light with content. However, I will have to ask for a vote to ratify the votes that were taken at our last meeting on December 1st, and it's called a consent agenda. When you bring routine, it's traditionally done with routine items such as acting on the minutes, or if you need to do appointments to committees or reports or staff appointments, something that isn't major issues or have a lot of discussion. We have to do that because there was a website posting error that prevented the public from viewing our agenda, which is required by the Attorney General's office, the Secretary of State's office with regards to the open meeting law. So we did not comply with that. We had it posted on our Town Council website, but not on the official agendas link on the homepage of the town. So I'll just ask for a consent, a general consent of the council, and we'll just take those items and carry them forward.
And that's nice that it's a consent agenda, because that way you don't have to read every single item in. You're just sort of ratifying what happened at that previous town council meeting.
That's right. Then we get into the old business, and there's an appropriation on the easement at Strawberry Hill Road. I will be asking for a continuation on that item to January 19th, a little more work to be done on that, and that's not critical. It's not a critical issue. We got it read into the record, but we really don't have to act on that right away. Keeping the time in mind too. So the other thing too is we can act on an appropriation of a transfer on the police department operating budget. There's a transfer from one account to another on that on the Barnstable Police, and so that's all. Those are the items under old business. And then our new business is referring to a public hearing, a transfer order for the Golf Course Enterprise Fund operating budget. They're doing so well selling their T-shirts and hats and clothing and whatnot. They want to get a little bit more inventory in, and so they're going to ask for a transfer from their reserves to their operating budget for that. And then there's a resolve to allow the commercial harvest of razor clams in certain areas of Barnstable Harbor. And recently the town manager did have a hearing on this, and it was approved unanimously through the Shellfish Committee. And I think you probably are well aware of there's all of a sudden a great deal of razor clams, and if they're not harvested, then you lose the opportunity to do so. So this is kind of an emergency resolution to allow for commercial gathering of the shellfish.
Wonderful. Yeah, I think an important thing to look at there, and like you said, it is kind of an emergency, because if they're not harvested, they die off.
That's right.
Looking ahead to the new business, there 2017-045, amending the code of the town of Barnstable for zoning for a gateway medical district. What is this about?
There was a time when, and this is being brought forward by on the advice of the Barnstable Economic Development Committee, There was a time when this section of town, which is located near Iano Road, Route 28, and Yarmouth Road and the Yarmouth Town Line. And the district was delineated, the medical services district was delineated. There's not a lot of growth that's been happening with regards to medical-related uses. So what they want to do is take another look at it and streamline the permitting process to encourage a mixed use, with multifamily, or restores restaurant, business, and professional uses that could also be located in that area. So they've gotten a lot of or had a lot of discussions with property owners that are having trouble. They've got vacant buildings because who wants to come in there doesn't necessarily fit in with the medical district. So that issue, and the planning board encouraged the joint meeting, which I think is great. We will work on that issue together, and hopefully it'll get resolved and amended.
Really great to see some of the boards taking an active role and really working with the town council to get some of these things accomplished. So that, of course, will be referred to a public hearing on January 5th. Then there's a traffic enforcement grant from the Executive Office of Public Safety.
Yeah, our last two items are the Barnstable Police Department bearing gifts for us, for the town, and the Ann Spillane over there at Support Services. She's great writing grants. And this one is to help with 3 traffic enforcement mobilizations, to make aware and of the challenges of drinking and driving, as well as the seatbelt usage. These will help us with that. There's a click it or ticket and drive sober or get pulled over, and these are programs that will are monies that will help with those programs to continue. And the other one is the acceptance of a gift of 6 doorway metal detectors, and this is from the Highline Cruises to the Barnstable Police Department. And they're giving it to the town in hopes that the individuals that walk by, we don't want to have people entering with hidden weapons and whatnot. So I'm not sure exactly where the police department's going to use these devices, but you see them oftentimes. Well, you see them at airports certainly, but you see them in the county courthouse. And so this will help with the security and relative to our town-owned buildings.
Yeah, and make sure we're making use of all of the things that are not being used at Highline Cruises. So what a wonderful community effort there. Want to talk to you too. So that ends really actually it does not end the orders of the day for the town council meeting. So those are the new business, but then the meeting is turned over, and I want you to explain this a little bit to us, because this process is a little bit different. Once the meeting is paused at a certain point, and then we're going to have election of officers, and that's when the town clerk actually takes over and begins to run the meeting.
That's right. At the end of the orders of the day, I will be turning the meeting over to the town clerk, and the town clerk will be conducting the elections for the 2017 town council leadership positions of president and vice president. And traditionally, what's done is the nominations, which were done at our last meeting, they take place, and then at this meeting, the clerk will ask the candidates for positions to, if they wish, to give a speech, and then she also allows other counselors to, give a speech for certain officers. So, and then the vote's taken. The president is voted in first, and then the same procedure with regards to the vice president, although I can see that the vice president position will not be, there's not much discussion, as only one name was put forward, and that's James Crocker Jr.'s name was put forward for vice president. And for president, Councilor Jennifer Cullum and vice president Eric Steimhilber have been nominated.
We'll be sure to tune into our hour-long news program, Barnstable This Morning, weekdays at 8 a.m. On tomorrow's show, we will have our weekly arts and culture segment. We'll talk with Director of Leisure Services, Patty Machado, about some great leisure programs. Plus, we'll have all the news and information you need. For Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Mannel.